Hi again, Dave Dubeau from Canadian Profits TV here with this week's episode. For our business breakthrough, I'm going to be talking to you about going back to the basics. For our real estate minute, we'll be visited by my good friend and real estate investor extraordinaire, Paul Blacquiere, with a $50,000 mistake you don't want to make. And for our mindset minute, we're going to be talking to you about appreciation. Stay tuned. All right, so for a business breakthrough, the topic for today is getting back to the basics with your marketing. I was on a call or on a webinar recently with my good friend and marketer extraordinaire, Michael McLean, who's one of our contributing writers as well. Michael's done a phenomenal job of growing his small town insurance agency to epic proportions. I mean, he's in a town, I think, of 6,000 people or 5,000 people, something like that. They've got 8,000 clients in their insurance business. So obviously they've expanded quite a bit there. And what Michael and I were talking about was getting back to the basics with marketing, because with the tendency with social media, online stuff, all of this kind of bright, shiny object stuff, is that a lot of people are taken away from the tried and true marketing methods that really work. So Michael shared a few with me that are just phenomenal in their simplicity, but work very well. The first one he was talking about is that he writes thank you notes to all of his clients. Now, he doesn't do them all at one time, but he's in the habit, I think he does 7 short little quick thank you notes every single day. That's right, so every single working day, Michael writes out, I think it's 5 or 7 quick little thank you notes and sends them out, and he just has that habit. Every day he's sending out 7 thank you notes to 7 different clients of his. So over the course of 2 years, I believe it is, every single one of his clients is going to see a thank you note, a personal handwritten thank you note from him. The impact on his business has been phenomenal. Referrals, word of mouth, repeat business. It's just another touch, a very low-tech touch that works wonders. He's not trying to sell anything in the thank you notes. He's just doing a genuine thank you note. That's something that any of us can do. I know that when I do thank you notes after an event, something like that, it really stands out. People aren't used to seeing them. They appreciate them, and it's something that I need to do more and will be doing more, and I suggest that you do more of as well. The other thing that Michael is talking about is good old-fashioned direct mail, specifically newsletters. Every month he sends out a newsletter to all of his clients, and that has been responsible for phenomenal amounts of business for his company. Again, repeat business, referral business, word of mouth business. It's just helped him to grow his business phenomenally. And that stuff, that low-tech stuff, works way better than his Facebook page, than his website video page, than any of that stuff. It's the tried and true old school marketing that works. That's your Mindset Minute for this week. All right, here we are with my good friend Paul Blacquiere. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
We just wrapped up the 2011 Fast Track Super Conference, 10th anniversary, almost last ever. Great event. Paul, you're one of our contributing writers for Canadian Real Estate Profits.
Yes, I am.
Would you mind sharing with our viewers one of your best real estate investment tips?
Sure. I actually did a presentation on this to a local real estate group in Ottawa a few months back, how to save from losing $50,000.
How to avoid losing $50,000. I like that.
Yes. Okay. And this is learned from hard experience, which is real cash I lost from dealing with a property manager. He went bankrupt, and he took off with $25K in rents and left all my units in a state of disarray. And so you can imagine 19 apartments, 3 months worth of rent, $25K, it was a lot of money. So first off, even if you have a property manager, check out your units regularly. You know, every 3 months, go and check, go on site with them and inspect it. The other thing was with the actual cash, how the property manager deals with the money. A lot of property managers will like to collect all the money, and then they'll take out the expenses throughout the month, and they'll pay you net at the end of the month. The problem is they have your money for a month. So what I do now, ever since then, I tell property managers, it's like, you know what, this is the way I want to work. You pay me gross, and then you invoice me what I owe you, and I'll pay you at the end of the month. And to me, that's just like any other business. You get invoices for services, and you pay them out, and that way your money is not in their hands and potentially at risk if it's a small company that tries to take on too many units and blows up, which is what happened to me. So.
Well, that is a phenomenal tip, and sometimes our best lessons are learned the hard way.
It was really hard, so hopefully I'll help you guys avoid losing 50K.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you so much for being part of the Canadian Real Estate Profits, contributing writers, for being with us for so many years. It's always great having you on board. If people want to know more about Paul Blackguerre and SpirePoint, what would you like them to do?
They can visit my website at www.spirepoint.ca, S-P-I-R-E, point.ca, and if you save some money, like 50K, you don't lose that. You can send me a check if you like, a little tip, something to express your gratitude. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm expressing mine right now, but there ain't no money involved, so.
Okay, and for this week's Mindset Minute, I want to talk to you a little bit about a big lesson that I learned the hard way recently, and that's all about appreciation. So I was coming back from a business trip to Tampa, flown about 14 hours, didn't get any sleep the night before, was completely tired, got into the airport in Vancouver, jumped in the yellow renting sucks vehicle, the FJ Cruiser, and headed home to Kamloops. Got about 3 hours into the 4-hour trip, and I was absolutely dog tired. So I decided I'm going to pull over. I was about 5 minutes away from the small town of Merritt. There was really nowhere to pull over on the side of the road, so I said to myself, I'll stop in Merritt and grab 40 winks, a quick little cat nap before I continue on my way home. Well, the next thing I realized, I was waking up driving. I had the cruise control on. I was doing 120 kilometers an hour, and I had 2 wheels in the ditch already. It was too late for me to try and swerve out, or I would have flipped the vehicle. So I had to drive the vehicle into the ditch, almost at full speed, 120K, slammed on the brakes. Still took a long time for the vehicle to stop. It finally stopped in a mushroom cloud of dust, and I sat there quite shaken up, but unhurt. Amazingly, I don't know how it happened. That road kills many, many, many people every single year. There's cliffs, there's rock faces, there's cement barriers, there are trees, there are boulders, there's everything you can imagine on the side of that road. And somehow I found one little stretch of it that had a nice ditch that didn't cause me any physical injury. So I thought, my goodness, how lucky am I? Immediately what came to mind was what's really important in life. So it wasn't how much work I'm doing, how many deals I've done, all that kind of stuff. What came to mind? Family, loved ones, friends, the stuff that's important. So sometimes we get all wrapped up with business and real estate investing and everything like that. We forget the big picture. We forget what's really important, and that is to be appreciative. So that was my big lesson. Another big lesson is when you're tired, don't drive. That's a pretty obvious lesson. Pull over, doesn't matter where, grab that little snooze. I'm not going to make that mistake again. And the other miraculous thing was, the other thing I'm appreciative for, is how tough that vehicle was. Pulled out of the ditch, put it in full-wheel drive to get up and back on the road, got on the road, and nothing happened to that vehicle. I don't know how, because we bounced around a heck of a lot. Anyhow, be appreciative of what you got. Don't wait until you've got a near-death experience like that. Just take a moment every day and really be appreciative. That's your Mindset Minute for this week. Okay, great. Well, as you're watching this, I'm actually today in Atlanta, Georgia at the most recent Glazer Kennedy Info Summit. So this has been pre-recorded in case you're watching, in case you're wondering. But that's where I am. I'll be back next week. And speaking of next week, we've got some great stuff. So for our business breakthroughs, we're going to be talking about how to evaluate new business ideas. For our real estate minute, our real estate tip, we've got a great segment from our contributing writer, Joanne Beaton. And for our mindset minute, I'm going to visit our good friend and also another contributing writer, Bob Molly. And this week's episode is brought to you by the replay of the recent webinar that I put on with my good friend Ken Beaton called Creatively Canadian Real Estate Investing. You can check out the replay at CanadianProfitsWebinar.com. Thanks a lot. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next week. If you're looking for a phenomenal deal, check out our $1 deal on the banners to the right. It's one of our best blast from the past CDs with one of our most popular contributing writers. So check it out now. Click on the banner to the right.